that is kind of how I came crashing and burning into the finish line of the Whole30. Hi guys, it's Amanda with Eat, Pray, Crunch, and if you saw my last video, you probably know that we just lost a very close friend this last week. You can watch the whole video about that. I'll link it here in the cards, and that is why I have not gotten my update for my last week of the Whole30 up, but I am getting it up now. So like I said in that video, we lost our friend last Friday, and that was on day 28 of my Whole30. I finished out day 28, and then we were just so in shock and grieving that Saturday afterwards that I was like, screw this, like I can't grieve and try and deal with the Whole30 at the same time. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I didn't like totally just jump in and go crazy, but I decided that I was going to add in some gluten-free grains that day. So I did. I added back in some gluten-free bread that I had in our freezer. I pulled that out and made some toast for myself, and it was so good. It was so good. I just had it with a little coconut oil. Later that day, my parents had come over to watch the kids, so Bill and I could just kind of get away from the house, have a dinner out, just kind of have a little debriefing time to process everything that had been happening. And so we chose to go to this pizza place that's known for being really good for people with food allergies. They're very aware of that. You know, show their ingredients. They have gluten-free options, they have dairy-free options, and so I thought, well, this is great. Maybe I can find something that's still mostly, you know, Whole30 compliant, even though they say that, you know, when you're trying to recreate pizza on the Whole30, it's like the whole sex with your pants on thing, right? Their words, not mine. I wasn't gonna go all out and have like regular pizza with regular cheese and all that. I was still trying to be somewhat careful, but I did order a gluten-free pizza with dairy-free cheese, and I had, you know, lots of veggies on it and chicken. And oh my God, it tasted so good, you guys. It tasted so good. And it is making me realize that I am an emotional eater, especially in a situation that is that tragic and that shocking. Like, it made me realize that like I do eat for comfort, and that day I didn't even care. I didn't even care. So I ate this gluten-free, dairy-free pizza, and it was surprisingly good. Like, they did a really good job of making it taste like real pizza. So I thoroughly enjoyed that, and at first my body really liked it too. My body was like, oh, it feels so good to have carbs again. But then the next day I paid for it. You know, I told you in my initial Whole30 videos that one of the reasons that I was doing this was not only for weight loss, but for some of my IBS symptoms that I get, and I get this like intestinal pain, and that came back in spades the day after I ate that pizza. So I was like, okay, now that we've gotten through the first couple of days of grieving, like I'm kind of, you know, getting back into a somewhat more normal frame of mind, and like I need to rein it in and kind of go back to eating what I was eating, get these bad symptoms to go away again. I did also on the same day add my stevia back in. I'm definitely not going crazy with the sweet things, but I did miss having a little bit of the like vanilla stevia in my coffee, so I just put like a few drops of that in, and that was really good too. I definitely found that I felt like I didn't need to put as much in as I did before I started the Whole30, so that was a good thing. I felt like I just needed like a few drops, and it was really good. So that's definitely been a benefit of this, is that my craving for sweet, even though sweet wasn't a huge problem for me before I started, it just made me realize that I'm craving sweet things even less now, even though I am still enjoying a little bit of it in my coffee. So I did add that back in. And I'm also, now that I'm done with it, being a little bit more lax about if there's just like a tiny little bit of extra sugar added into something. I am still trying to, I think even from now on in general, I'm going to try to find things that don't have added sugar. I mean, we were generally doing that before, but I'm like hyper aware of it now. So that's been a positive thing as well. But some things, like the bacon we get, it's so hard to find bacon without a little bit of sugar. The kind we have is they use honey, and I feel like that's a better form of sugar anyway. So I'm just not worrying about that as much. Bill made a huge batch of salsa a few weeks back. Once I get to it, once I get around to editing it, actually we made a whole video on how to make that salsa. It's amazing, but there's like, you know, a couple of tablespoons of sugar in an entire like huge stock pot full of salsa. So I'm just not gonna worry about it. So that is kind of how I came, you know, crashing and burning into the finish line of the whole 30 just because of unforeseen life circumstances, but I'm still proud of myself for making it 28 days. Like that's a pretty darn close, and I'm proud of myself for sticking with it pretty well through that time. I did a weigh-in on the last day. I'd said last time I had lost or I'd gained a pound. I lost that one again and then another one. So grand total for the whole 30, I lost a total of 4 pounds. So it's not a huge change, but hey, it is something. And I also noticed that my acne got a lot better. That's definitely something that went down a little bit with this diet. So that's definitely a positive thing. The last day of the whole 30, I was down 4 pounds. And then after I ate this pizza, guess what happened, you guys? I gained all those 4 pounds back in one day. Yeah, so I know that that's water weight. Like that's not like you can't gain 4 pounds of fat in one day, but that in and of itself is revealing to me. It's showing me just how reactive my body is to certain foods. I'm not entirely sure what it was in the pizza, if it was one of the gluten-free grains. My guess is that there was some sort of additive that they cooked the chicken in, that they put in the dough for the gluten-free crust, you know, or the dairy-free cheese. I'm guessing there was some sort of like soy additive or something like that that my body just is not happy with. That's probably what caused it. So I'm hoping that just kind of like going back to the whole 30 stuff, with the exception of a little bit of sugar, I'm hoping that some of those water weight pounds will come back off again. I'm not too worried about it because when it goes on that quickly, I know it's just water weight. So we'll see what happens. One great thing about this last week is I really did well with exercise. I mowed our lawn. We have about an acre of lawn, and our riding lawnmower is broken and it has been for a while, and we haven't rushed to get it fixed because I actually find that I like doing the like walking mower because it is such good exercise, and I usually do it when one of our mothers is here watching the kids or on a weekend when Bill is here. And I actually find that it's kind of therapeutic because I, you know, I'll listen to YouTube videos while I'm doing it, or listen to some of my favorite music, blast it in my earbuds, and you can just go to town. And it's actually really nice because it's like me alone, like listening to things I love to listen, and it's active. It's amazing exercise because we live on a little bit of a slope. So it's like going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down on our slope. And so it's phenomenal exercise. I've had to work with the weather here because we got like a couple of sunny days here and there when I had to like squeeze it in on days that we had care for our kids. So I managed to do it on 3 different days last week. And the first 2 days I did it 2 hours. I did it like 2 hours on a Saturday, 2 hours on a Sunday, and then the following, it was actually the day that our friend died. Before we found out, that's the day I finished it, but I did like an hour and a half to finish it up. So that was really good. And right after I actually had done that mowing, I actually had dropped another pound from doing that. So that is awesome. So it's making me realize that like I really need to be upping the activity, and I feel good when I do it. So that is really my goal from here on out. I've talked about this in past videos. I believe was 4 days a week, doing 2 intense workouts and like 2 moderate ones. So I'm going to try and go back to that now. I'm already finding that I'm less stressed about food not being strictly on the whole 30 anymore, even though I'm still following the rules and adding things back in slowly. It's already less stressful for me at this point, not feeling like I have to be that strict about every little thing. So at this point, I'm going to work on the exercise, and really I think I'm just going to work on portion control. And some of the other ladies in the collab that I'm doing have talked about eating at night, and that is definitely a hard one for me. I think that's something that I need to try to really start working on. Oh, look who came to join me. You say hi. Hi. Someone woke up from her nap and wanted to see Mama, huh? So she's just going to be sitting here with me. See the little top of her head there. So the last thing I wanted to mention is one of you lovely subscribers, Chelsea Feed, is that how you say your name? Thank you for your advice. She was talking about the role of stress in weight loss, because I really think that that is key for me as well. Really focusing on getting enough sleep for one. If you want to hear all about my thoughts on trying to get more sleep, I mentioned that in the last Whole30 update. That, and in addition, she was talking about adding in something like ginseng and B vitamins. Are you saying hi? You say hi? Hi. Hi. Yeah, you sweet girl. And let's see, what did she call them? Adaptogens. I hadn't even heard of this term before. But these are things, you know, like herbal things like ginseng and B vitamins that can help regulate how your body responds to cortisol. Anyway, so that is something that I actually just started adding into my diet in the mornings, is ginseng and B vitamins, and I already feel like it's making a difference. We'll see if that helps with my whole little weight loss journey as well. So I think that is it for my final Whole30 update. Overall, I think it's been a good experience. Like, it definitely has helped me realize some of the things that make my body have major reactions, and I'll continue to update as I add things back in as well to let you know how that goes. But I did continue to have that low-level bloating that never really fully went away, so still got to figure that out. But it did take away a lot of the worst symptoms, so I am thankful for that. Lost the 4 pounds, even though I gained the water weight back, but I think it is good. It does a lot of good. Anyway, little miss here is getting fussy, so we're gonna go. I'll do one last recipes update, things that I ate for lunches and dinners, that kind of thing. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And we'll see you next time. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Can you wave? You say bye-bye. Yeah. See you later, guys. Bye. 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 Is that right? Yeah. Where's your belly button? There's your belly button.